Hello friends, today we are going to see how to draw an isometric view of a circular plate having different thickness. In given question you can see here there are two views, and in one view it is clear it is a circular in nature, and in another view you can see a different thickness. It is not having uniform thickness but a different thickness you can see at different points. So let's start with the problem. Now figure shows that front view and end view. I already explained this. End view means a side view of an object. So draw isometric view and show overall dimensions. Now here front view and LHSV is given to you. Normal practice is that we are going with the origin in order to place the given views. But in this question, you can see no origin is given to you. Instead of that, they have mentioned which one is a front view and which one is the LHSV. So let's start with the positioning the view in the isometric box. Now this is a structure of an isometric box, and this is the origin. Now considering the position of this box, in question they have mentioned left hand side view. It means that you can see the left side of an object. Or in other words, you can see the left side of the isometric box. So here there are two sides you can see here. If you consider this as a front view and observer is exactly opposite to this plane, then this becomes the left hand side and hence it becomes LHSV. In other condition, if this is front view, then it becomes right hand side, considering the position of the observer. So given position is correct as per the given question. Here front view and LHSV. So here front view is this one, observer is exactly opposite to this, hence this side or this plane becomes left hand side plane or left hand side of the object. With the help of this you can here conclude if LHSV is given, then you have to draw this view on the left of the origin, and if it is RHSV, then you have to draw that side view on the right side of the isometric box. So here I have mentioned LHSV and the front view. This plane is for the left hand side view and this plane is for the front view. Now considering the dimensions, see this plane is for the LHSV, so the base is 40, here it is mentioned, and if this is for the front view, so radius is given 40, so diameter becomes 80, so base is 80, so here the base is 80, and of course height becomes 80 for the front view. So this height is equal to the height of this line and equal to the height of this line. So LHSV becomes 40 by 80. So three dimensions are calculated using given two views, and with the help of these three dimensions you can complete the required isometric box. We have already learned how to draw an isometric box in the lecture number 1 of the isometric projections. So kindly refer that video to draw isometric box. Now in the front view you can see it is a circular object. It means here you have to draw a circular plane, and we have already learned in the lecture number 2 of the unit number 5, that is isometric projection, how to draw an isometric view of a circle on the required plane. Now we know that this is for the front view, so this is the plane on which you have to draw a circle. So here first join the longest diagonal, then after drawing the diagonal, now this corner and this corner is not useful. Other than this there are two corners that can be used. So out of any these two corners, let it be this one, from this corner draw a line in such a way that it will be connected with the midpoints of the opposite sides. Now this is the corner, so these are two opposite sides and these are the midpoints of these sides. So from this corner you can join this midpoint. So here you will get the intersections with the longer diagonal. So now this is C1, C2, C3 and C4. So this is a 4 center method that we are applying here. That's why I have given the 4 center names. Plot the midpoints so that it will become easy to draw an arc to complete the required circle. So here you can see the midpoints are plotted. Now using C1 and distance equal to this corner to this midpoint, draw an arc till it reaches the next midpoint. So I repeat, center as a C1, from this midpoint draw an arc so that it reaches this midpoint. Now with the help of C4, as a center and distance equal to up to this midpoint, draw an arc in such a way that it reaches the next midpoint. I repeat, center as a C4, distance from C4 to this midpoint in a compass, draw an arc so that it reaches the next midpoint. So you can see here the semicircle is formed on the required plane. Now if you observe in the question, then this complete circle has no uniform thickness. You can see here only the half of the portion has a thickness of 40 and the remaining half portion has a thickness of 20. Now if I consider this portion and if I project it, the bottom semicircular portion has a thickness of 40 while the upper semicircular portion is having 20 is a thickness. Now considering this semicircle bottom side, so it fits over here and that we have drawn over here. This semicircle is nothing but, when you see from the left hand side, represents a line. So after that we have to move from this point 20 mm inside in a horizontal manner. Okay, but before that we have to draw a plane at a 20 mm. See, we are considering second plane over here at 20 mm from this. Total length is 40, so this is 20. So second plane we are considering. So this is your second plane to complete the circles on it. Now join lines from this midpoint to the midpoint of the second plane, midpoint to the second plane midpoint. From this midpoint to the midpoint of the second plane, and from this midpoint to the midpoint of the second plane. So this line is nothing but this one we are drawing. Now coming to the required portion of the semicircle. Now you can see here, after this, the semicircular portion is exactly on the top side. So you have to draw semicircle on the upper portion, not on the bottom side. So on the second plane. So considering second plane, you have to draw only semicircle portion, and that is on the top side. So to complete this, as we have already learned in the lecture number 2, how to draw an isometric circle, we need two centers, C2 and C3 only. So shift this center. Now see here, we are moving 20 in this direction. Hence, we have to shift C3 in the same direction by 20 mm and C2 in the same direction by 20 mm. Now, these are your new centers to draw a circle on the second plane. First, darken these lines. So, now you are here up to this point. Now, using center C3, now using center number C3 and distance up to this midpoint. Okay, C3 to this point. Draw an arc so that it reaches this midpoint. I repeat, center as a C3, this new C3 on the second plane. Okay, center as a C3, distance up to this midpoint. So C3 to this much distance you have to take and draw an arc so it reaches the next midpoint. Now coming to the C2, so center as a C2, distance up to this midpoint, C2 to this midpoint, and draw an arc so it reaches the next midpoint. So now you can see here the semicircular portion, this one, it's completed on the second plane. See, this is your first plane. Here is your second plane. Okay, now we are dealing with the second plane. So this one is your second plane and semicircle is plotted on the second plane. Now here you can see a horizontal line passing through the center. It means what? You have to draw horizontal lines over here joining these 2 points. So you can see here this two horizontal lines are joined. Okay, so when you see from the front, you can see the semicircle over here. Then this line is getting merged with this one. So this is the line, and then the upper circle. Now we completed a semicircle on the first plane, then semicircle on the second plane. Now we'll go for the third plane. So this is your third plane. Now to draw a circle, okay, here you can see that if I consider the complete circle, only this much portion is visible to you, only this much. So to draw this much arc, you can refer the video number 2, how to draw an isometric circle. We need 3 centers, and these centers are C2, C3 and C4. Now this third plane, is 40 mm from the origin. So from here it is at 40 mm. From here it is at 40 mm. So from origin, this plane, you can see here, it is at 40 mm. And if you want to draw a circle on this plane, then the required center C4, C3 and C2 must be shifted in the same direction by 40 mm. Okay, so C4 is shifted over by 40 mm, C3 is shifted by 40 mm and C2 is shifted by 40 mm. Now show the midpoints of the third plane, and now first center is a C3 here, C3 as a center, and distance up to this midpoint, C3 to this midpoint, draw an arc till reaches the next midpoint. I repeat, C3 as a center, distance from C3 to this midpoint, and draw an arc till it reaches the next midpoint. Now center as a C2, I repeat, center as a C2, distance up to this midpoint, center as a C2 and up to this midpoint, draw an arc. Now here you cannot complete this arc, just draw an arc till it reaches the circle on the second plane, because it is not visible beyond this. So you can draw up to this only. Okay, so I repeat here, C2 as a center, distance up to this midpoint, draw an arc. Now same way, center as a C4, I repeat, center as a C4, up to this midpoint distance, C4 to midpoint, and draw an arc till the next midpoint, or you can say till this curve touches this one. Now draw tangent over here. You can see your tangent, similar tangent on the other side over here. So here is the first tangent, second one is over here. Now we need to remove this portion in order to show the actual three-dimensional object. So these are the unnecessary portion of the drawn arc that we need to remove. After removing this, you can see here, this is the structure of the required object. Here you can see, when you see from the front, semicircle at the bottom and this line, semicircle at the bottom and this line, then the upper semicircle over here. So you can see a upper semicircle. When you see from the side view, now this is a cylindrical surface, appear as a rectangle, but when you see from here, you will find a rectangle up to 40 mm and then of 80 mm. So this is 40 mm and this is 80 mm. So this is the construction for the required box, and this is your final solution. Now this question needs a lot of constructional work. So go through the each and every step and understand how the circles are drawn on a different planes using shifting of the centers. I hope the idea is clear to you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.